How is everybody today? Happy to see you. Happy to see my box truck gang. I am at the beach, Fiesta Island, of course. That's where I've been for the last few days. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I have a new iPhone and a new microphone set up, and so I want to make sure the audio is transmitting properly. I really have no way of determining that unless you guys tell me. So let me know. Let me know if the audio is coming through. Got 12 people hanging out. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's see who we got in the chat. I hear you and the wind. Okay, thank you. I'm in the wander box now, so the wind should be a little bit less pronounced. Hello, hello, Larry Rasmussen. Hello, Arvine with G. Hello, happy to see you. King Gamer, he's here in the flesh.
What
In
up,
the
Jack?
wander box. Zane Johnston, hello from NC. Happy Chat Wednesday. My fave time of the day with the boys. Appreciate it. Super Dave, hello. Happy to see you. Happy to see you here. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day down here at the island. It's always a beautiful day, but we got some sun. Look at that.
Can't beat it, guys.
We're in the wander box today. I'm doing a little work for them. Big T, hello from Michigan. Blind Rabbit, it's wet. Taylor's in Texas. I bet it's hot in Texas. Super Dave says hello.
What's up, brother?
King sees you. Charlie Pepin, hello. Thanks for joining. Almost bedtime in Tennessee. You must have to work early, East Tennessee, Tim. 6, what is it, 9 o'clock in Tennessee. Larry in Florida. Hello, Larry. Happy to see you. Taylor, very. Fighting a hurricane here in North Carolina. Yeah, I saw in the news there's like some serious hurricane stuff going on in the southeast. So I'm hoping you guys stay safe and hopefully no disasters happen. Craig is in the chat. Hello. Happy to see you, Craig, in the live, supporting,
What's up?
representing. We're going to go take a look in a little bit at Zach's box truck. They've made really good progress on it. They got some walls up. They got the ceiling in place, the initial ceiling in place. Yeah, it looks really good. Blind Rabbit says lots of tornadoes and rain. Photo Josh says, where is Mark? Mark is working in Zach's build while I work on Mark's build. So here's what's going on today. In the wander box, here's Mark. People are asking for Mark. Here's Mark, just handling some wood, doing what he does.
You ask, you shall receive, guys.
So here's what I did today for Mark. We added a battery into his battery bank. He has like, I don't know, 280 amp hour chin batteries. I think they're 280s. 300s. Okay, he's got 300 amp hour chins. He's got a pair of them. That's right, because you had 600. And he added this LI time 12 volt 200 amp hour to the battery bank. And so we're just breaking all the rules today. We're mix matching lithiums, mix matching BMSs, old and new batteries. We don't care. We just want that juice, baby. We just want that juice, baby. So I went ahead and added this lithium lifetime down here, added a red and a positive and a negative. And one thing to note is I'm pulling from the midpoint of the two batteries. So when the inverter draws from the batteries or any DC load from the batteries, we got the positive on one coming from one battery, the negative coming from the other battery, and the new battery is in between. So that will help all the batteries draw down at the same time, and that will help kind of keep them all in sync. So the last thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to install a little piece of wood down at the end here because right now this battery is kind of loosey-goosey, and so we don't want it to slide around while we're driving. So I have this 2x3. I pre-drilled some holes in it, and what I'm going to be doing is just putting it down here in the floor like this, and then we're going to drill down into the subfloor with some big screws and lock that battery into place. So that's what we're working on. We're doing box truck stuff,
Oh yeah.
and we'll go take a look at Zach's box truck in just a minute. I'm gonna throw these screws in real quick. Did you get those screws? Okay, sweet, thank you.
Yeah.
King got me some long lag screws. I'm gonna hand that to you, King.
You got it, brother.
I'm gonna hand off the video to King so he can do some filming while I go ahead and just zip these screws in real quick, and we'll see what's happening. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and King said he'll read them to me.
Nice sink. Says Blind Rabbit. Yep.
Yeah, if you want, King, you can just give him a little tour of the
There,
Wonder
he got some
Box.
stuff in there, but yeah.
Give him a little tour.
Right here. So when you walk in, you got the left.
Oh, they can't hear you.
Oh,
Here.
that works. All right, so when you walk in to the left, you got the box with the open view, with the bench that's mobile. Um, and then we got the other bench right here. I think that's a stable bench. And then this right here is usually a closet, but they could close it up and make the bench a little longer so more people could hang out in here. And then over here to the right, they got little cabinet spaces over here, a little more space over here. Got the dog food. Got the sink, like you just said, that you liked. What's up, Craig? How you doing? Glad to see you again as well. Uh, East Tennessee, Tim asks, do you think sodium ion batteries will ever be available soon in camper battery size?
Sodium ion?
Yeah, sodium ion.
Honestly, I've never even heard of that. I have no idea.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
that's beyond me.
That is beyond us. So we do not know there, East Tennessee. But
I hope so.
but if we continue, we have the countertops. They got the drawers right there, clothes and utensils. They got the gas-powered oven and stove right over there. And then inside here, right here in front of us, you think it's a regular cabinet, but it's not. It's actually a little Mr. Cool AC unit, right?
Yeah, mini split.
Yeah, a
There
little
it
mini
is.
split. Then we got the sink over here,
We've got a little slidey slide front to back though.
and then we got the pantry over here. And then the best part is the bed. The bed goes up and down, guys. It's really cool.
Yeah, it does.
Hell yeah. All right, well, we wait. We got another question from
Yep.
Blind Rabbit. Hey, Brad, your coat do you coat your battery connectors with dielectric grease, or have you had any issues with corrosion?
That's a good question. And so that's the reason why I use tinned copper terminals for my battery connections. Um, the battery posts themselves are usually like a stainless steel, and then as long as you, and then the hardware is stainless steel, and then I use the tinned copper lugs, and so I've never had issues with corrosion. I have used pure copper colored lugs before, and I have got corrosion on my terminals because from the bare copper. But from everything I've seen, all the vehicles I've worked on, as long as you use tinned copper lugs, you won't have any corrosion issues. So I don't use any kind of grease or coating, and I've never seen a situation that would require them. Maybe in like a marine application, possibly, but yeah, otherwise I think it's pretty good as is.
Cool.
I'm gonna cut this wood real
There you
quick.
go, Mr. Blind Rabbit. Appreciate all you guys hanging out here with us. Brad's going to be cutting up this piece of wood right here. If you have any more questions or just want to talk, you're more than welcome to. Yep, Blind Rabbit says thank you. Yep, you are more certainly welcome. We are happy to help if we know the information.
Happy to help. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. All right. So I'm doing one more. I'm doing one more wood block. I did that long piece. It was like 18 inches for the side of the battery, and then I'm doing a shorter block on the front, and that'll basically just lock everything in and keep the battery immobilized. So I'm gonna pre-drill this.
We got a question from Surah and Dave. Sorry, Super Dave. Adventures with Super Dave. He's asking, when you're charging the battery pack, Hold on, I'll ask him when he comes back. 1 second. I got you, Super D, Adventure Super D.
Yes.
All right. So Super D's question is: when you're charging the battery pack in the solar charges at 12 volts, so how does it work with 24 volts?
Um, when you're charging, well, I assume you're talking about 12-volt panels. So when you're charging a lithium battery, the charge source always has to be greater than the voltage of the battery. So if you're using 12-volt solar panels to charge a 24-volt battery bank, you have to wire up those panels in series. And when you wire panels in series, it adds up the voltages together. So like a 12-volt solar panel actually puts out about 17 volts. And so if you took two of those panels and wired them in series, you would get 34 volts, right? 17 times 2, 14, 10, 20, 34. And then if you had three panels, you would wire them in series and then you would get another 17 volts. So that's all you have to do is make sure that your panels are putting out higher voltage than what the battery charges at. And a 24-volt battery bank actually charges at around 28 volts. So it's something to be mindful of. Very good question. It all comes down to the way you wire your panels. And in general, I always recommend. Oh, you know what? Can you go grab me one more of these?
Yeah, I got
In
you.
general,
Here's some questions.
here.
Oh, you can see them.
Yeah. In general, I always recommend that you wire your panels in series because that will increase the voltage coming out of the panels. And higher voltage means lower amperage. And so when you have lower amperage, then you can run smaller gauge wire size. And it's easier on all the equipment to handle higher voltage and lower amperage. So in general, it's usually good to just wire your solar panels in series. And like my solar panels, I have four panels. They're in series parallel, which is a little more advanced, but I get about, I think about 70 volts coming into my charge controller. And then the charge controller steps down that 70 volts to about 28 volts. All kinds of fun stuff. That's a good question, Dave. I appreciate that. Okay. Buying a Victor on solar charge controller, it does all the work. Yeah, if you get a Victron, I mean, so anytime you get an MPPT charge controller, they automatically step down that voltage from whatever the panels are giving you to whatever your battery bank needs. If you get the cheaper PWM controller, it won't do that. So you got to be careful and make sure that you are in fact using a an MPPT controller. They're more efficient too. There's no reason to use a PWM controller in 2024. Zero reason. Um, but yeah, like G said, the controller will do all the step down for you, but you do have to still make sure that your panels are wired correctly and that you do have enough voltage with your panel configuration to allow the charge controller to step down to the level that it needs. So something to consider. And I'm going to give that back to you. I just need a couple minutes and I'll be done.
Yep, yep, yep. He will be back to answer all your guys' questions. I see you still got plenty of them coming in. That's awesome.
Lots of
We thank
questions.
you. We thank you.
Yeah, feel free to read one out if you get something easy.
Okay. I mean, I don't, I don't know if it's easy to you, but Photo Josh asks, "Are you going to update us on your Burning Man prep 2? Are you going to be updating us at all in this live about your Burning Man?"
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit. For absolutely
Cool.
happy to update you guys on the process.
Cool. Brad said he will definitely update you guys on the Burning Man there, Photo Josh, in a couple of minutes.
Getting close.
The Outlier Archive. Is there an affordable way to attend Burning Man?
Yeah,
A- And is
yes.
there a good way to protect your vehicle from dust and stuff there? Tell you the truth, this is going to be Brad's first time going, but he's going to be going with a bunch of people. Hold on 1 second. There you go.
Thank you, King. So yeah, so in the past, Burning Man has always sold out. And so tickets, were expensive. The retail on the tickets is like 600 bucks, but this year is the first year that they haven't sold out. They actually have more tickets than people have bought. And so you can actually go online right now and get tickets at a discount. People who bought tickets and then couldn't end up going, they're having to sell their tickets below the retail price because you can just go on the website right now for Burning Man and buy tickets, which usually is not the case. So this year, it's actually pretty easy to get cheap tickets. I've seen people selling 2 tickets and a vehicle pass for 800 bucks,
What?
and the retail on that is about 1400. So yeah, big discounts right now if you guys want to go to Burning Man. And I don't know about next year, but I would assume it's it's probably also not going to be as busy next year. It's probably partially the economy, and there's a lot of politics and stuff. So yeah, next year, what I would say is wait till the Burning Man gets close, because I bought my tickets like a month ago because I didn't want to miss out. And if I would have waited, I actually could have saved a few $100. So that's something to learn.
Outdoor Dreadhead says, "Yo, bro,
Yo, what's up, Dreadhead?
East Tennessee Tim.
Okay, that's it.
Next power in TA is coming out with a sodium-ion replacement battery for older Prius soon.
Interesting.
I bought and installed their lithium-ion replacement batteries in both my Gen 2 Prius." Okay.
Nice, dude, doing some serious battery work.
Yeah. Photo Josh says, "Aren't solid-state batteries going to just make sodium-ion outdated before it takes off?"
That's interesting. Let me borrow
Yeah.
this. Okay, so we're all done down here. I'll show you guys really quick what I did. Um, so I installed this 2x3 over here, and then this little 2x3 here, and that basically just kind of immobilizes the battery, keeps it from sliding around. And so now Mark will be safe to drive this thing all over and bump it down the road and not have the battery moved. So that's it. We're done with the work for today. Appreciate you guys hanging out while I finished up that job. I didn't want to leave Mark hanging on that and make sure that he has a safe battery, because he's going to be driving tomorrow. They're taking Zach's big box truck up to Poway. They're going to install the rear flip up doors, like what this one has, where the top folds up and the bottom folds down. They're going to install those tomorrow. There's a guy coming in from Las Vegas, Josh from Inch Vans. They do incredible work. He like custom welded this door for them, and so he's coming all the way from Vegas to install it. It's going to be pretty badass.
Also, this badass bed right here. He did this too.
Yeah, he also did their bed in here, which is really nice, just custom aluminum work. It's expensive. I mean, it takes a lot of time, and he's really, really good, but it's nice. Dreadhead, I was thinking of doing a solar system like the one you did on the shuttle bus, just 2 batteries. Yeah, the 4 batteries was way overkill for that solar. You'll never charge them properly. Equipment input 3,550. Yeah, I like it. So the thing is, what's new is Renogy now sells on Amazon. They sell bigger panels, so you can get like 350s, 450s, and 550s on Amazon from Renogy. They come in 2 packs. Um, so if you want just easy panels, that's a good way to go. You'd have to buy 4 though, so you could get like 4 of the 450s, and that would put you pretty close. So that might be something to do. If you do the 550s, they'd only come in a 4 pack. I don't know if you'd fit 4 of them on the roof of that shuttle bus. By the way, those 550s are freaking huge. They're like 7.5 feet long. They're massive. So just keep that in mind. I would probably lean towards doing like 4 of the 450s just because they're a little more um, manageable for being on the roof. Okay, so that's it. We got it.
You missed a question from RV with G. It says, "Brad, I was so excited to see my panels pulling 1,008 watts. I have
Nice.
3 times 335 equals 1,005 watts, and therefore I was getting over 100%. That's pretty cool."
Yeah, okay. RV with G said he was getting over 100% on his solar panels. That's awesome. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes they might be a little bit overrated or the power is underrated than what they actually deliver. So that's fantastic news.
Diane wanted to know, for a schoolie, do I need the top marker left to
Uh,
remain in operation?
Let's see what else we got. Robert says, can you fit four 550 panels on a 16-foot box truck? That's a good question. I would say yes. I would say yes, you can. Just keep in mind, hey King, you want to help me put this drawer back in?
Sure.
I'll go in the bathroom here.
Sure.
Um, just keep in mind on the panels. Basically, at that point, I'm gonna let you guys watch while me and King put this drawer in. Um, when you do that many panels, basically your roof is only going to be for solar, so you're not going to probably have room for a max fan um, or anything else on the roof, which is fine. That's how I did mine, and that's what I recommend. But just something to keep in mind is when you're basically filling the roof with solar, and so you're not going to be putting anything else on there. But as long as you do that and you go that route, hold on, then you should be able to fit. Um, you should be able to fit that many panels, no problem.
Oh, okay.
Is it
Getting caught.
this?
Yeah, it's getting caught.
All right, we're just trying to put Mark's drawer in here.
There you go.
There it is. Okay. All right, job is finished. Thank you everybody for hanging out while we do a little work. We've been working out here all week. I'm gonna go back to the chat here. Bob, what kind of mileage are you getting in that 450? I get 10 miles per gallon, empty or full. It doesn't change. Blind Rabbit, how's the mini split? It's been working well. I just used it a couple days ago. No issues with it. The real question is going to be, okay, Dreadhead got local panels. Awesome, man. Yeah, that's a big savings if you can buy local panels. The ones on Amazon are not cheap, the Renogy ones. The real question for my mini split is going to be whether or not it survives Burning Man. I'm a little worried all the dust storms and stuff might mess it up, but what are you going to do about it? You just hope for the best. So hopefully it holds out. If that thing survives Burning Man, I'll be really, really proud of it. Yeah, Dreadhead, I got your question answered. Folded down wing style. Robert, awesome, thank you. Want to do a 24-volt AC with it for ventilation. What are you talking about? I want to do a 24-volt AC with it. You mean for your box truck, Robert? What are you talking about? You want to do it with it? A 24-volt AC with your box truck conversion? Um, if you watch the live I did last week, Sir on Dave toured his box truck, and he has a 24-volt AC, and he said it works really well. And it's really small. He mounted his underneath his box truck. I think it's a really good idea. Blind Rabbit, I will definitely keep you posted. Chilling in DC, asking about the ceiling. Yeah, isn't this cool? These are hexagon tiles. Um, they're peel and stick, but what did G say? I saw G said something.
It says, bro, I'm telling you to
Get
keep.
an air compressor and blow it out daily. Yeah, Gee, I hear you. I already have so much shit that I bought for Burning Man and like stuff I'm taking down. I ain't taking an air compressor. Maybe somebody has one I can use or something. Ant-Man TV saw me on Tiny House Tours. Hey, buddy, thank you. I appreciate it. You know what's funny is that tour I did was actually filmed by Mark and Marina of Wanderbox, whose rig I'm currently standing in. So it's a small world in the Nomad community. Appreciate anyone that came in from the tour. Yeah, so these are peel and stick hexagon tiles. They're really nice. Um, the brass part is actually metal, which is pretty cool. And then the other part is it's almost like a synthetic marble. I'll show you here. Oops. So if you can see that, this is like a synthetic marble, and this is actually metal brass. It's pretty cool. And so they did it in the shower, up there, and then up here. And also they did it in their kitchen here. Oops. So this is all that same hexagon tile. It looks really good. Somebody asked, yes, I am working on Wanderbox today. I added a battery to their electrical system for them. So now they have 800 amp hours of lithium. Very impressive. Big battery bank. I think he has like 900 watts of solar. So he's going to be in good shape. Okay, let me just round up my tools here, and then we will go look at some other stuff.
RVing with Jason to stop by his place. He can let you borrow there.
Okay, yeah, Super Dave says use your vacuum. I do have a vacuum. Um, I'm sure, I mean, I'm camping with a bunch of people. Somebody might have an air compressor that I can use. Otherwise, it looks like G said I could stop by and borrow his, which is very kind. Um, I need to plan my route and see if that's a stop I can make. Hey, G, RVing with G. G, send me an email. I think you've emailed me in the past, but send me an email again, nomadbrad503@gmail.com, and shoot me your address and then maybe like a contact number, and then I'll try to hit you up when I'm heading out to Burning Man and see if I can swing by. King is not going to Burning Man, I don't believe. Bro, he would die in his car. It's too damn hot. That would be dangerous. Maybe next year. King's got to get himself a upgrade on his home on wheels.
Ant-Man TV wants to know, have you ever put a home theater or gaming setup in a van?
That's a good question. I have not. I personally, I'm not a gamer really anymore. I just don't have time. I do enjoy games. In fact, uh, me and King actually played Gears of War a few months ago on Francisco's Xbox in the back of his Jeep Gladiator. That one I did the EcoFlow video about. It was super fun, and I really like it, and I enjoyed it. And at one point, I mean, I was definitely considering adding a gaming system to my box truck, but I just haven't got around to it. So I might do it in the future, or I might add a gaming system on my next build out. I'm not sure, but I would like to have, something in there. I do enjoy games. I just haven't been doing it. So that's kind of where we're at. Okay, and that's it. Let's hop out of the wander box, take my tools, and we'll go see what else is happening out here at Nomad Village, Box Truck Builder Village. G, I'm a nomad. I'm in the Reno area, so we can meet up. I'll still email you. Oh, okay, G. Love it. No hassles at the beach from Bob. Bob, no hassles at the beach. Um, Fiesta Island's pretty laid back. Honestly, Um, I'm surprised we haven't been hassled because I was so crazy in the wander box. I'm surprised we haven't got hassled because I mean we're making a pretty big scene out here, just doing a bunch of construction, but I mean nobody's bothered us, so I guess it's cool. The park rangers and law enforcement has driven by, and nobody's said anything, so I guess we're good. I guess we're good. Although, let's see. Oh, Zach's box truck. Um, Zach's box truck is not registered. He didn't register it after he bought it. And so the cops have talked to him a few times about it, which is actually nice that they've talked about it and not given tickets. But they told him, I think, yesterday that if he doesn't get it registered, they're going to impound it. So now Zach's kind of on a mission to get it registered. But that's totally different. That's not like a build issue. That's just a driving a vehicle around that's unregistered issue. So that's a little bit different. All right, got a little coconut water to wet my whistle. Here's a little shot of the build scene today. Diana says, what wires do you use for a reverse camera? Yeah, guys. So on the Burning Man thing, um, I'm going with a group, and they have a big ass tent, like a big bell tent for the community. So I think I'll be okay. I mean, I really hope the mini split doesn't quit on me, but if it does, I'll be able to hang out in the bell tent during the day. And at night, the nice thing about the desert is it gets cold at night. So worst case scenario, it's cold at night in the van and in the morning, and even a shade cloth like that might help me with a few degrees of temperature, but it's not going to do that much. Like a shade cloth, and when it's 105 degrees as the ambient temperature, like a shade cloth will help a little bit, but it ain't going to make it comfortable to be in the box truck. And because of all the dust storms, you can't really leave the windows open, so it's going to be hot as balls inside anyway without AC. So hoping for the best. I smell gasoline. Soon I'll follow the Jedi path. I'm a personal trainer and physical therapist. Where can I get contact with you for assessment? May the force be with all. Polymath channel. Happy to help you out. Um, you can email me, nomadbrad503 at gmail.com. Happy to help you out. Diana asked about wires for the reverse light. So, or for the backup camera. Hello, Michelle Swanson. Happy to see you. I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Michelle? How are you doing? Um, so it depends what backup camera you get. The ones that I have installed recently have been wireless, and so those are pretty easy. You just you don't have to really add any wires. You have like a monitor that mounts to the windshield with a suction cup, and it plugs into the cigarette lighter, and then the camera portion you mount on the back of the bus, you that already has wires with it, and you just tap those wires into your reverse lights on your bus. Which, if you're doing a shuttle bus,
Hey, Brad, my dad's watching.
I know he said hi.
Right over here. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Watching Brad live. You brought up your issue at the top. Hey, Dad. Marina is. Oh, what's up, guys?
Oh, sorry, I narked on you, bro.
Yeah, my dad's a worrywart. I love you. Hope you're watching this and enjoying yourself. I paid Marina to do my registration the same way you pay Tiffany to do bullshit you don't want to do. So
Outsourcing, baby.
yeah, I didn't feel like dealing with emails and everything like that. I got a house to build. I got an OnlyFans to take care of. So
Woo.
yeah, she's doing my registration. We'll have that figured out this week, and then no more police. That's it. Also, want to add that Nomad Brad is the best YouTube channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell if you haven't already. Videos once a week. Bangers. Can I steal some of that coconut water? Any?
Bro, how would they even impound your truck? They ain't got nothing big enough to tow that thing.
Mm,
They're
hmm
flexing.
We need a sponsorship. That's gas. My dad texted me right now. He said, "Okay, then we need to hook you up with insurance." Are you still watching the live? He says, "Cool, I'm watching you. You look good."
He likes that hair.
He hasn't
bro.
seen my abs. No, they're gone right now. The lighting's bad. Father, father, daddy. Okay, that's all. I have nothing else to say.
And that's the man, Mr. Zach. If you guys want to see more about the build and the whole build series of his box truck, you should definitely check out his videos. They're way better produced than mine. I'm just running and gunning shit. He's doing all kinds of cool transitions and lighting. He's got all the cool gear. So definitely check out Zach's channel if you want to see the build progress. Um, I'm just reading through the chat right now, seeing what's going on. Yeah, so Diana, as far as the backup camera goes, I would just recommend getting a wireless ones. Get the wireless cameras, and it's really easy to connect. On your schoolie, you should have access to your reverse wires pretty easily. I'm trying to think. I mean, in a shuttle bus, it's really easy, but in a schoolie, I'm assuming from the inside of the bus, there's like an access panel or something, but you just got to basically find the reverse wire. And the backup cameras usually even come with the little connectors that you pinch on to your reverse wire and then clip into the connector. So it's pretty easy to do. Yeah, pretty easy to set up. Super Dave with the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Super Dave always coming through with the support. He saw my tour today on the Tiny Home Tours video. That was filmed by Mark from Wonderbox. They did a really good job filming it. I'll take a peek at the box truck. And a lot has changed since last time you guys saw it. We got windows installed. These are the really nice high dollar Arctic Tern windows. It looks so much bigger in here with the windows installed. It's really cool. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call come in, and it just spazzed out my thing. Anyway, you guys can see we got a lot of wood going on in here, plywood ceiling with light fixtures. Lots of wall going up. Got some cabinets going in. We got some walls going in. This wood wall in the back, that's Zach's bedroom on the opposite side of that. This wall right here, this is, I don't know, it's part of the shower stall, I think. This is gonna be the shower stall right here. So that'll be the shower, and they're putting a window in there too, I think. So you can see it all coming together. It's definitely looking pretty good. So I installed all the ceiling light boxes for Zach last week. Cut in these LED drivers and then wired them all in to these junction boxes down into the main panel. And Marcus did the actual panel here and all the wiring to that. So turned out pretty good.
How are you liking the meat?
It's done everything I wanted to do. I got like a 3.5
Hansa, what's up? Happy to see you. Nicole, Nicola, where can I get inexpensive 550 watt panels? So I have a video about that on my channel, but basically just look at Facebook Marketplace and type in solar panels on Facebook Marketplace. And what you'll find a lot of times is solar install companies, they'll have extra panels left over after an install, and they sell them really cheap online. So you can get like 3, 4, 500 watt panels for 100 bucks a piece.
Transmission, it went out at about 170, and when I looked it up,
What's this guy doing over here? So this is Zach's bedroom. You can see that looking pretty groovy.
but it's a Toyota factory remanufactured transmission installed by the dealer. I have all the paperwork on it. Has 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty on it. So
Someone asked about the wiring. So in this box truck, all the 110 wiring is solid copper, not stranded. And so here's the thing. Usually in vehicles, you do stranded wire, and in boats, just because they have so much movement, and stranded wire is a lot more flexible than copper wire. Copper wire, if you bend it too many times, copper wire. Solid conductor wire, if you bend it too many times, it becomes weak and it can snap, versus the stranded wire is much more flexible long term. However, if you look at any RV or camper or trailer that has ever been manufactured since the beginning of time to today, they all use solid conductor wire for they're 110-volt systems. And so that's what we used in Zach's box truck. Um, and I was really against. Hey, thanks, Craig. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Happy to see you, man. It's looking good. The build's looking good. It's really making some good progress. Um, anyway, so I used to be really against using solid conductor wire for the high voltage in vehicles, but after working on RVs, it's everywhere. So I feel like if the RV industry uses it and they've been using it for decades and it's fine, then it's probably fine for any other vehicle. So we used to use traditional Romex in the box truck here, and this is honestly more like an RV than it is a van or anything. I mean, the amount of bouncing and flex you're going to have in this box truck is actually probably less than a traditional RV because this thing is built way stronger. I mean, we got 2x3 studs in here, and RVs are all press board and hopes and dreams. They're built very terribly. So solid core wire is what we're using. On the low voltage stuff, I still use stranded, and I think it's still a good idea to use stranded, 12 gauge, 16 gauge on that smaller stuff. But I think on the larger cable, 12 gauge, 10 gauge, it's fine to use solid. So that's what we're working on. We go back to the chat, see what's going on. Diana needs panels. Super Dave's got a deal on 650 bifacial for 143 a piece. That's a good deal. I like that. The Outlier Archive has a discount for signature. See what else is going on. Super Dave is a super guy. He sure is. Oh yeah, security cameras. Taylor was asking about security cameras. So, um, in the last box truck that we just finished up for Jen, she did Rio Link security cameras. And I also have a friend, Paul Barger, the bread trucker, and he uses Rio Link cameras in his bus. So that seems to be what people are using. The technology is really good and the price point is affordable. So I would recommend Rio Link. They're not sponsored by me. I don't personally use any cameras, but that seems to be the go-to brand. Check this out. We got homie in a hammock right now. That's the spot to be. Yeah, dude, how is it up there? Bro. Yeah. You're living the dream right now. In the hammock, watching the sun go down over the bay, watching the sand. Hell yeah. It's not bad out here, I gotta tell you. Not bad out here. Is cheap solar panel reliable? Yeah, so when we're talking about fancy trail cams work great. Yeah, you can use trail cams. Um, when we're talking about cheap panels, we're not talking about cheap as in quality. We're talking about cheap as in price. So these are all, good quality panels that are basically, retail on these panels is about $1 a watt. And but these are high quality panels that basically were purchased for a specific job, like when commercial installers do, say a commercial installer is going to put 100 panels on the roof of a grocery store, right? And so when they place the order, they'll buy over a certain amount in case some panels get damaged or broken. They'll always buy like 5 or 10% extra panels. And so when they get done with their jobs, a lot of times they will have a few panels left over and they've already been paid for by, the company that they're installing for. And so they don't want to hold over the panels because they might only have like maybe they have 5 to 10 panels left over from a job that was 100 panels. And when you're installing 100 panels at a time, 5 panels isn't going to do you any good. So what they'll do is they'll just sell the leftover panels for cheap on Facebook Marketplace just to get rid of them. But these are brand new panels, high quality panels, nothing wrong with them. And that's what I did on this box truck. Back when I was in Texas, I found a place that was about 30 minutes from where I was staying, and it was exactly that. I went to a solar, it was literally a solar installation company, and they had a huge warehouse full of solar panels, and the guy had a stack of like 20 panels in the corner that were left over from a job. And I bought them. They were, all they had at the time was 320-watt panels. So they weren't really big, but I just needed panels in a hurry, so I bought them anyway. But I bought 320-watt panels for like $97 a piece. So still a really good value. 30 cents a watt. It's pretty good. Less than 30 cents a watt. So that's what we're talking about. Not cheap quality panels, just cheap price panels, but good quality panels. And I have seen some cheap quality panels on Amazon. I would watch out for those. It's one thing to buy a good quality item on discount. It's another thing to buy a cheap quality item at full price. And so you want to watch out for that. Yeah, Bob Wells did a video on solar deals. He buys from Santan. I've also bought panels from Santan. They have similar deals. You can get new panels for about $100 a piece. They also sell used panels, depending on what your budget is. I've seen Santan sell 350-watt panels for like $50 a piece. But personally, I don't really recommend used panels. I mean, you're only going to buy 3 or 4 panels for your rig. You might as well, instead of $50 a piece, you might as well spend $100 a piece and get brand new panels and just not have to worry about it. So that would be my recommendation. But if you're on a super budget, you could get used panels. They still test them and make sure that they're performing properly. And they might even give a small warranty, maybe like a year warranty or something. I'm not sure, but Santan's a good spot. They have a retail store in Arizona, and they had a store also in like Georgia or something, but I think they might have closed that down. I'm not sure. But if you just Google Santan Solar, Santan, then you can learn more about them and what they have to offer. G says that's where I got my 335 watts in 2019. $350 for 3. Yep, good price. Yeah, Santan's a good company. I met the owners personally when I was working for Bob Wells. For those of you that don't know, I was actually a videographer for Bob Wells for about 9 months. I traveled with him and camped out with him and helped him film his videos. And so during that time, I was also helping out with his charity Homes on Wheels Alliance, and we did our van build. They do a van build every winter in Pahrump, Nevada. And so Santan donated a bunch of panels, and the owner of Santan actually came out and did a little meet and greet. And so I got to meet him, and super nice guy. Super nice guy, super nice company. Bob Wells too, super nice guy. And just people that love the Nomad game and are out trying to help other people get in the Nomad game. And that's kind of what I'm doing, just trying to help other people see the possibilities, see the freedom that can be had. And I think it's one of those things where you don't realize necessarily what's possible until you've seen it done. And then once you see what's possible, like living in a box truck, then it becomes more appealing. I keep I keep smelling gasoline, and I'm like trying to look around this box truck to figure out what in the hell am I smelling. I keep getting whiffs of gasoline. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't see anything. I don't see any gas on the ground, but I keep getting whiffs of it. Somebody asked if I believe a box truck is the best platform for building. I do. I think a box truck is the best platform for a Nomad. I've uh, I've kind of covered it before, but with a box truck, you get 7-foot ceilings. You get basically the biggest living space. You get 7-foot ceilings. You get 7.5 feet width, and maintenance is pretty affordable and simple. Most mechanics will work on the box truck because the front end is just a Chevy Express or an Econoline. It's not anything commercial. You know, when you get into like step vans and buses, uh, not like short buses, but like full-size buses, then you're getting into like commercial mechanical, and it gets a lot more expensive, and it's harder to find mechanics. And box trucks are pretty affordable. I mean, you can go buy a used box truck right now, a decent one for like 12 grand. You know, if you try to buy a used uh, Transit, it's going to cost you 30 grand. Doesn't make sense. Um, Somebody asked about, let's see, a trailer better than a cargo trailer. Well, those are two different things, right? Like a cargo trailer is literally a box truck without a chassis or without a motor. It's the same principle. Like a cargo trailer, actually, cargo trailers aren't as tall. Most cargo trailers are going to be about 6 feet tall. You can get taller ones, but they're rare. Like a typical cargo trailer you see is about 6 feet tall. And so they're not even as tall as a box truck. But if we're talking about trailers, then now we're talking about having two vehicles. And then you have to tow, and it's not as easy to drive, not as easy to park. So a trailer is a whole different scenario. I think for the right application, trailers are nice. If you're going to be pursuing a lifestyle where you stay in one place for a long time, especially like on BLM land, then I think um, a trailer might be nice. If you're going to stay in one spot for like 2 weeks at a time, then it's nice to drop the trailer. You can take your primary vehicle into town, get supplies, go on adventures. But you know, like for me, I move around constantly. I'm usually not in the same spot for like more than 3 days max. So for me, a trailer doesn't really make sense because I would really never unhook from it, and then it's just way more difficult to park. It's hard to find a parking spot for 40 feet worth of vehicle and trailer. So I don't know. I like a box truck. I like having everything all in one. Your vehicle, your house, all in one. Mine is 21 feet bumper to bumper. If you get the bigger one, it's 23 feet bumper to bumper. Still very reasonable to drive and park. It just depends what box truck walls are made of. Um, my box truck is basically a thin layer. It's a like 3/4 plywood, and then it's a thin layer of aluminum, and then a thin layer of fiberglass, and then a thin layer of some kind of like vinyl material. I think most box trucks are wood on the walls. Some box trucks are steel, or I think galvanized steel is probably the most common. Like that's what Zach's is. It's galvanized steel. I think. I don't think it's aluminum. I think it's galvanized steel. Um, there's a very few box trucks that are fiberglass, like the Unicell. Unicell is a box manufacturer, and they make all their stuff out of fiberglass. So if you find a Unicell body, then that's fiberglass. But they're pretty rare. People like fiberglass because it's well insulated, it's composite, it's quiet. But yeah, I think if I was going to do it again, I'd try to find shell, a steel shell box truck. But the thing is, the steel shells don't have the plywood inside. I kind of like mine with the plywood inside. It's a little heavier. Like when you get just the steel lined walls, it's pretty thin. Someone asked about fuel economy. I get 10 miles a gallon. It's a 6.8 liter V10 gasoline engine. 10 miles a gallon is pretty much my fuel economy. Empty or full, doesn't matter. If you go with the diesel, you could get up to like maybe 14 miles a gallon, maybe 12. Ben is asking, yeah, Penske trucks have fiberglass roofs. If I got one of those trucks, I would coat the roof with the elastomeric roof sealant. Henry's Tropicool is a brand because uh, you don't want light coming through at night. So yeah, I would do Tropicool on the roof. That'll help with the heat, the temperatures, and keep the light out. Someone asked about a no build for a box truck. Yeah, so here's the cool thing about a box truck. I mean, it's literally a box. And so you can put regular furniture in here. Like if you bought a box truck, You could go to the Restore or Goodwill or Facebook Marketplace. You could get just a regular couch, a chair, a regular kitchen table, a regular bed frame. You could use all regular furniture and just put it in the box truck. You could get regular wall cabinets like from Restore and just throw them up on the wall, screw them in, and you're done. So the reality is you could completely build a box truck without having to build any custom furniture. You could even get like a regular sink station from Home Depot or the Restore. So yeah, there's a lot of options for no build solutions for a box truck. Do you know any tradesmen who live in the truck with tools? I do. I'm a tradesman. I install solar and electrical, and I live in my box truck with my tools. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody else personally. Most of them pull a trailer. And that's the thing is the reason I do what I do is because electrical requires very few tools. It's mostly just a small assortment of hand tools, and I carry some wire and some fittings. Plumbing would be pretty easy to do out of a box truck. It's limited tools. But when you get into like construction, you need way too much stuff. You're not going to be able to haul everything in your box truck while still having like adequate living space. So everybody I know that does like carpentry and woodworking, they tow trailers, enclosed trailers, and then they use the enclosed trailers as their shop, and then they live in their box truck as their primary residence. Uh, Dreadhead just did a no build on his shuttle bus. Happy to hear it. Yeah, that's another good thing about a shuttle bus. You can definitely do a no build. Just get used stuff and slap it down. I think a shuttle bus is a great choice for someone that wants to do a no build because the windows and doors are already there. If you get a box truck and you want to do a no build, you're still going to have to put some kind of door in because you can't secure the roll up door while you're inside of it because it'll latch and close you in. So at the very least on a box truck, you're going to have to cut in a door at the very least. But so I think a shuttle bus would be a better option if you're doing no build. Um, Jeremy says, "Do you always stay in San Diego?" No, I don't. This is actually the first year I've been in San Diego in a couple years. So I'm just here right now. This is where the people are, the community's at, the work is at. So I'm enjoying my time here, but I won't be here all year. I'll be traveling still. His Grace's Love asks, "What is the smallest, cheapest box truck you recommend?" Uh, G says, "I'm pulling a trailer with my tools and food and motorbike and a stove and extra stuff." Yeah, you can totally pull a trailer for extra space. Nothing wrong with it. Nicola says, "What do you think about a residential fridge?" Yeah, as long as you have enough solar and battery, residential fridge is fine. No problem. Keep in mind, though, the one thing I will say is like RV fridges and like camper van fridges, they are designed with higher levels of insulation because they're designed to be put inside a vehicle, which could be hotter. Residential fridges are basically designed to operate at 72 degrees. In fact, I bought a mini fridge when I was living at my friend's farm in Texas while I did this build out. And it literally says in the instruction manual of the refrigerator that it's not meant to be operated in like temperatures higher than, 78 degrees or something like that. So that's something to consider. If you do a residential fridge, you're going to want to do air conditioning also. Otherwise, the fridge will have to work really hard and it might burn out. His Grace's Love asked about the smallest, cheapest box truck. All right, Craig, signing off. Glad to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. I know Zach was happy to see you. And I'll catch you next time, Craig. I appreciate you supporting and watching the videos. His Grace is asking about the smallest, cheapest box truck. So the thing to keep in mind is when you're buying a vehicle to live in, when you're buying a vehicle to live in, you either pay now or you pay later. So you buy a cheap vehicle, and then you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars on maintenance over the course of its life, or you pay more now to buy a vehicle in better condition that's been maintained, and then you don't spend as much money over time on maintenance. So oftentimes a cheap box truck is actually more expensive because you can't control when and where your vehicle breaks down and needs repair work. And if you're out in some tiny town and you break down and there's one mechanic and he could charge you whatever he wants, right, to get you back on the road again. So I think it's almost better to spend the money and get something in good condition that's dependable, that you're not going to have to be just constantly shelling out money to get it repaired over time. So that would be my recommendation: is the cheapest is not the best. What else we got? G says, I finally just got at my fridge. It's a 79 quart, 1224 volt. Nice. Good capacity. Mine's also a 12 or 24 volt. Frida says, do you know if we're allowed to park in Mission Bay? I see a lot of RVs with tickets on their windshield. Yeah, so that's the thing is, right now I can't give any guidance on parking in Mission Bay. Technically, there's signs posted everywhere that say no overnight parking, no habitation in vehicles. And so it's basically at the discretion of law enforcement if and when they want to enforce those signs. So for the last couple months that I've been here, um, they have not been enforcing them. However, this last week or so, um, I have had friends start to mention that there's tickets coming up and notices being delivered. So I think they're slowly starting to bring back that enforcement. So you just gotta, just be careful. And your best bet is to park on the street where there's no signs that say no overnight parking. That's the best I can tell you. But there's no guarantees. At any given time, anything could happen. Uh, Euphigenia, Euphigenia, where can I get a newer box truck with U-Haul style box? Um, So here's the thing, the U-Haul style boxes, those are manufactured for U-Haul. And U-Haul only sells their vehicles when they're past their, you know, useful service life. So you can buy new box trucks all day. But U-Haul right now, they're only selling like 2012, 2013, somewhere in there, in older box trucks. So you're not going to find a newer box truck with a U-Haul box. If you want a newer box truck, it's going to have a different type of box, which typically doesn't have the cab over. So it'll be just a regular rectangle box with no cab over on the front. So that's what it is. Big Moist says, do you think the Ford that you have is better, or are there better trucks for the box truck? It's all just it's all personal preference. I can't really say one thing is better than the other, but I like the Econolines. My suggestion would be to get the newest vehicle that's in your budget, the newest model year. All this, even if it has, maybe a little bit higher mileage, all the components are going to be newer. All the bushings and bearings and all the electrical connections have less age on them. And so, if you can afford to get a 2012 instead of a 2007, then I would get a 2012. Um, and yeah, just keep up on your maintenance. That's the one thing I would say is if you keep up on maintenance, then that'll be really your best case scenario for having a successful journey. Diana Saylor says, thank you for tonight. Always enjoy your chats. Thank you, Diana. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody for being on the live stream tonight. We had a good time. We had some good talks about box trucks. And here we are. Look at little Eli here just looking out over the bay, looking at the sunset, just soaking it all up, being a good boy. This sure is a dog's life out here. So I think that's it for me, guys. We've been going now a little bit over an hour, and so I'm going to go ahead and sign off, go cook up a big fat steak. But I appreciate you guys for being here, everybody that came and hung out and supported. Appreciate you guys being here. And here's one last question from Super Dave. What is the model with a 7.3 and a 6-speed? That is the Ford Econoline E450. From the year 2020 on up, 2020 up is the 7.3 engine on the Econoline. So if you look for an E450 from 2020 up, you'll find that 7.3 engine. All right, so that's it for me. I will be going live next week. I'll do one more live before Burning Man. So tune in next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, and you guys can catch me right before I head into the desert for Burning Man, and hopefully I will see you there. Thanks, everybody. Nomad Brad from Fiesta Island signing out. Peace.